Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into something that can literally make or break a huge global deal. So just picture this for a second. You are on the verge of closing the biggest international deal of your entire career. You've spent weeks getting ready, your data's airtight, and your presentation, it's a work of art. You have absolutely nailed every single point.
But then, you get the email. It's a polite no, and there's no real reason given. You're just left staring at your screen, totally confused. The logic was solid, the numbers all added up, so what in the world went wrong? Why did this perfect deal just completely fall apart?
Well, the answer might just lie with an invisible force that you didn't even have on your agenda. You might have been ignoring the single most important partner in that room, culture. Think of it as the unseen guest at every single international meeting, and believe me, it has the power to make or break any deal.
So that's what we're going to dig into today. This unseen partner. We're going to explore how the cultural environment shapes literally everything in international business, from a simple handshake all the way up to a multi-million-dollar contract. Getting this right is the absolute key to navigating the global landscape.
So where do we even start? Let's begin with the thing you'll notice first, the most immediate aspect of culture you'll ever encounter, communication. And as you're about to see, it's about so much more than just the words you say.
Think of communication as having two channels that are running at the exact same time. First, you've got the verbal channel, right? The actual words you're using. But running right alongside it, you have the nonverbal channel. This is everything else. Your body language, your tone of voice, your use of silence. And in a lot of cultures, this channel speaks way louder than your words. And here's what's so fascinating. Look at all the ways meaning can get twisted, even when everybody in the room is technically speaking the same language. Was your confident tone actually seen as aggressive? Was that thumbs-up gesture you gave a sign of approval? Or was it the major insult it is in parts of the Middle East? In some cultures, silence means disagreement, but in others, it's a sign of thoughtful respect. Your direct yes or no might seem efficient in one country and then shockingly rude in another. And this is where deals start to unravel.
Okay, so we've seen how these misunderstandings can happen. But to really get a handle on the cultural landscape, we have to understand why. We've got to go deeper than just communication styles and look at the very foundation of a culture. The unwritten rules of the game.
And this lays it out perfectly. I want you to think of it like a pyramid. At the very bottom, the base, you have a culture's foundational values. This is the deep-seated why. Then, those values dictate the social norms, which is the how people are expected to behave. And all of that, stacked together, creates the society's structure, the what that you actually see and interact with every day.
So let's talk about values for a second, because this is crucial. Values are basically the invisible operating system of a culture. They're the deeply held beliefs about what's important. For instance, does a culture value the individual over the group? Does it value innovation over tradition, risk-taking or stability? These core values are what's driving every single decision.
Now let's move up to norms and see how this all connects. If values are the operating system, then you can think of norms as the apps. They're the practical application of those values in real life. They are the unwritten rules of social behavior. How do you greet someone? How do you run a meeting? Who gets to speak first? These are all norms, and every single one is a direct expression of those deeper values we just talked about. And all of this leads us to the top of the pyramid, the structure of the society itself. So for example, a culture that really values collective harmony might have a much flatter corporate hierarchy. But one that values individual achievement, it might have more rigid, competitive structures. You see, the way people organize themselves is just a logical outcome of all those shared values and norms underneath. So what does this all mean for you, right? How do you take all these ideas and turn them into something practical, a tool for success? Well, let's put it all together into a simple map that you can use for pretty much any international interaction. All right, here it is. This is your takeaway. First, decode communication. That means paying just as much attention to the nonverbal stuff as the words themselves. Second, try to identify the core values. Always ask yourself why people are acting a certain way so you can understand their real motivations. And third, observe the social norms. Just watch and learn the do's and don'ts before you dive in. This simple three-point map can absolutely save you from getting that baffling no. And that brings us to one last thought to leave you with. We've spent this whole time talking about foreign cultures, right? But what about your own? What are the invisible values and norms that guide your behavior every single day without you even thinking about it? Because honestly, understanding your own cultural programming is the very first step to understanding anyone else's.